All churches seek to experience the promise of Jesus that those who abide in me and I in them bear much fruit. Nowhere is this more important than in helping increasing numbers of people experience the spiritual gift of giving. Jesus knew the temptations and opportunities of possessions. Perhaps that is why he talked about material possessions so frequently. All we have comes from God and is intended to be used for God's purposes. The Christian's need to give as a fruit of discipleship is far more important than the church's need to receive. And the church never asks members to give to the church, but rather to give through the church on behalf of God's mission. A common pattern among many congregations over recent decades has been for fewer people to give more money each year. Attendance has often remained stable or gone down as the budget increased. Such a trend can only continue so long without serious consequences for the church's ability to minister effectively. This is especially true when a major portion of the giving comes from older members. In addition to sound budgeting and fiscal management, there are things that churches can do to increase the immediate and long-term financial resources for ministry. Think about some of the most generous financial stewards in your congregation. Chances are they did not start out that way. They grew in stewardship as they grew in discipleship. It is easy to depend on these donors while forgetting what led to their generosity. Churches with a future will work hard at encouraging persons to begin their giving journey. Much time will go into cultivation and education of persons whose initial giving may not be large. In fact, don't expect new givers to give as current givers do. New givers are normally younger, have fewer assets, and do not have the spiritual foundation that typical church members do. It is important to pay attention to several practices that will encourage new givers. Keep in mind that giving and spiritual growth are intimately connected. So find ways for more people to engage in Bible study and other discipleship practices. People normally become first-time givers before they become regular givers. So offer many opportunities that will encourage people to make a first gift of whatever size or for whatever purpose. Be sure to acknowledge first-time gifts with thanks and encouragement, just as you would someone worshiping with you for the first time. Always encourage new members to pledge or give from the beginning. The high point for check writing in the United States was 1995. But many churches still receive 90% or more of their income from cash and checks. For many today, their check to the church is the only check they write all week. In addition, with people attending worship less often than they did previously, if the offering time at worship is virtually the only occasion when giving occurs, churches are likely to receive fewer gifts. Some benefits of expanding giving options to include automatic and electronic options include enhanced mission, predictability, increased giving, convenience for members, and reaching younger people who tend to carry little cash and write few, if any, checks. Churches are wise to connect such giving with worship. Many provide cards in the pews that members place in the offering plate, indicating that they have already given. Offertory prayers can acknowledge those who gave by mail or electronically. Remember, you are offering options for those who wish to use them. But don't underestimate how many already use electronic payments for other transactions. Some options from which churches can choose include automatic bank withdrawal, online bill pay banking, online giving through the church website, or use of a mobile card reader. Before implementing any option, make sure it fits the circumstances of members. Only offer options if people in the church already use them for other financial transactions. Then check with nearby churches of various denominations to find out what options they offer and their procedures. Many people are able to be far more generous through their estates than they can be in their lifetimes. Beginning 2 years ago and continuing for another 16 years, 8,000 baby boomers will turn 65 every day. They join an already large cohort of members older than the boomers. Remember that God calls us to steward all we have, including our estates. Many older members have non-liquid assets such as homes, while virtually all are cautious about outliving their resources and do not want to become a burden for their families. Rather than judge these legitimate concerns, the church has a marvelous opportunity to help people view stewardship in a more inclusive manner that invites members to make provisions in their estate plans for funds to continue the values that have shaped their lives of faith. Every conference or judicatory foundation provides excellent resources and assistance for churches wanting to establish plan giving programs. I hope these 3 suggestions will aid you in doing what your church was established to do, to make disciples who grow in grace, including in their stewardship. The goal is never survival. The goal is to sustain the important mission of your congregation for years to come. Taking steps today can ensure that others will experience the blessings of the church that mean so much to you and your life in Christ. You may find other resources at churchleadership.com/funding. May God bless you.